Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Hayden with the Hill Pursuit Podcast. This is episode 80 of the show. We have a new number. We're out of the 70s and into the 80s finally. It feels like forever, but here we are. This is a good show too. Um, Me and Ken discuss kind of what it's like navigating a busy lifestyle and fitting training into your life. I say this all the time to my athletes. I say it in general too, but training needs to fit into life and not the other way around. And Ken and I just kind of take some time and discuss that today and share some of the ways that and strategies that we use to fit training into our lifestyle or how we deal with it when it's not perfect. We talk about things like training, we talk about nutrition, we talk about sleep, we talk about work, life stress, all that stuff kind of blended into one. And I think it's a really good conversation that a lot of people can benefit from. So definitely have a listen. Stay with us the whole time because we have some cool announcements at the very end of the show related to some gear that Hill Pursuit has coming up very, very soon that you'll be able to access, purchase, wear for next race season, all that stuff. And lastly, I'll give this little plug now because we talk about it at the end of the show later. The off season is approaching, okay, for endurance sport. A lot of athletes and people who follow along with the show, I know just anecdotally, are nearing the end of their competitive season. It might be this weekend for a handful. So, quick shout out to Victory Multisport athletes who are ripping Muncie this weekend. Good luck. You might be a marathon runner who's attempting to BQ this weekend. Good luck, Timmy and Carrie. So, quick shout outs there. But or you might just be somebody who's an endurance cyclist or another triathlete who has another race or two coming up in the next month or 4 to 6 weeks. The off season is very, very close. All right. It's very close. And if you're not resistance training now and you don't know what you're doing, let Hill Pursuit help you. Okay. Especially in the off season, a time that everybody should be resistance training. I'll be honest, everybody should be resistance training year round. Ken and I discussed this at length today, the benefits of doing it, why people should be doing it. But if you're not at all, you should be starting. All right. And Hill Pursuit is going to be coming out with an off-season resistance training special. Okay. There's going to be a special for Victory Multisport athletes, of course. So if that's you and you're listening, stay tuned for that. That's coming. Or just message me and ask me about it. That's fine. But if you're not a Victory Multisport athlete, this special is also for you. There are ways that you can access what this coaching entails over the course of the off season. So stay tuned because that's coming and it's absolutely necessary, especially in the off season. So wanted to give a quick plug for that. Ken does an awesome job today at discussing what it's like to prepare nutrition during a busy lifestyle. So at minimally, stick around for that. He does an awesome job. Ken's one of our nutrition coaches at Progressive Strength Project. So stick around, listen to what Ken has to say. We have a really nice discussion, and I think you'll there's definitely a couple carrots in here for you as an endurance athlete listening to this that you can walk away from and have something actionable in terms of making your hectic life feel a little bit less hectic. So that's all I really have. If you're following along, thanks for doing it. You can find us on any of the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram. We have an X or Twitter account now, so find us there. All of it's just at Hill Pursuit. If you want access to this podcast episode blogs, any coaching information, nutrition information, just check out the website, hillpursuit.com. That's completely fine. Reach out to me directly, hillpursuit@gmail.com. Ask a question about coaching, ask a question about nutrition, ask any question, start a conversation, whatever it is, say hi. We love when that happens. So please reach out, hillpursuit@gmail.com. And if you're just following along, thanks for doing it. You can stream the podcast anywhere you get podcasts. We also have a YouTube channel, so like, subscribe. Find us everywhere: Spotify, Podbean, Google, Apple, and YouTube. Thanks for sticking with me through the longer intro. This is episode 80 of the Hill Pursuit Podcast. Mr. Rogers, how we doing?
Good, man. How you?
I'm good. I'm good.
Hanging in
My
there?
yeah, my newborn kind of slept through the night like 2 nights in a row. So,
Solid.
and she's 5 months. So for the record, yeah, those are the first 2 nights. And I say kind of because she's still squawking a little bit, but I mean, she didn't wake up until like 5:30. So I mean, the day
I was gonna
starts.
say
The day starts. So that's very
you
normal.
you look a little bit more vibrant today. So
Oh well, good. If as
yeah, you look a
vibrant
little
as you can be as at 9 p.m. when you have a
yeah,
5 month.
you look like you got about like a solid like 4.5, 5. So that's all you need,
Oh
right?
man, I was just telling someone else today. I was like, oh, I can't wait to just sleep normal again because it's such a oh man, you're just a different person when you sleep well, And I haven't for forever, so I'm looking forward to it. But that's kind of on the lines of what we wanted to chat about a little bit today. Anyway, is dealing with life and fitting training into life and busy schedules, right? So, but I guess
Yeah.
before we dive into that, what's up with you, man? What's new?
Nothing much, man. I mean, obviously training, very short
Yeah,
amount of time left.
yeah,
That thing's been going good. Work has been a little bit more busy, which I'm not going to complain about.
nice, nice.
Getting a lot more new people coming in, which is cool. It's been a little bit tougher to fit in the training, but I'm still getting it in. You just got to make it a priority, which I know we'll talk about in a second. But besides that, same old, same old. Good weekend last weekend. Going to like a little comedy show on Friday, so that should be cool. Gonna go to
Nice.
the SAP Center. I'm gonna go see this guy named Bert Kreischer. Have you ever heard of him before?
Does he perform with his shirt off and has a big belly?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
I know who he is.
yeah. The machine.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
dude.
I don't know much about him, but I just know his name. I know he's really popular.
Oh, dude, I'm so hyped. It's gonna be
That's
awesome, man.
cool. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah. I'm going with well, as of right now, I'm going with two of my buddies, and then maybe my brother-in-law. So it's gonna
Sweet.
be a good time. Yeah.
Oh,
And
that's
no,
exciting.
don't worry, I'm not gonna be going too crazy because I gotta wake up the next freaking day and what is it, ride 100 miles. So
Yeah, right, right.
I already had to explain to, and he definitely wouldn't mind me saying this over a podcast, but yeah, my buddy Matt is he likes to have a good time, and I had to explain to him like very politely and nicely, like, hey, dude, like I'm gonna have to be that guy that may or may not partake in a bunch of adult beverages.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
yeah.
but
Sacrifice,
either
right,
way, it's gonna be
dude?
a good time. Yeah, man.
Um,
It's only a couple weeks, right? So
yeah.
whatever.
Isn't that Bert guy? Because he drinks a ton. But I
Yes.
heard, I heard that he said he's not drinking anything or partying or whatever else he does. God knows until he loses a certain number of pounds. Am I am
Yeah.
I wrong in thinking that's him? I think that's him.
No, you're definitely. I think you're thinking of the right guy because I know that him and all those other dudes on like Joe Rogan's podcast, they do like the whole sober October thing, and they make
Okay.
like a competition out of it. Dude, I think that guy, even as big as he is, which I mean, some of these people that listen to our podcast might know, but he's a big dude. But like, he actually, I think this is maybe like a year or two ago, he ran a full marathon.
That Bert guy.
Yeah, that Burt dude, and he's a big
Wow.
dude, bro. I think he's gotten
Yeah.
up like 300 plus, and I mean, I won't go in depth about his lifestyle choices, which I would not obviously advise
Sure,
anybody to
sure.
do. But the fact that somebody that lives that way can run a marathon is pretty freaking
Yeah.
crazy to me. So,
Yeah. Yeah. That's
but
wild.
no, I mean, yeah. So, I mean, obviously, we wanted to talk about this topic today too, dude. And I mean, I know that you just got done saying about a second ago that you're finally getting some sleep, but
Yeah.
like, what's one of the major things that you feel like you need to do when it comes to like your nutrition or like your training or anything else to kind of balance like, well, dude, I mean, you're a full-time professor, you got
Yeah.
three kids now, a wife, how do you manage it?
Yeah. So, um, like, what's the number one thing that I need to do? I guess would be move a little bit. Like, even if it's not so, like these past 4 or 5 months for me haven't been like strict training at all.
Yeah,
But like getting up in the morning, and even if it's you know on little sleep or just less sleep, getting 30 to 45 minutes of something in is really, really helpful for me. And and I say that because there are days that that doesn't happen because I'm exhausted. Um, I don't hit snooze really, but like my alarm is my baby sometimes. So, I woke up at 3 and then it's like, well, do I stay awake because that's so close to when I want to wake up normally anyways? Then I go back down to sleep and then, 5 o'clock is just becomes too early. And so there are definitely some days, at least over the past month to 2 months, where it's not happening. And that's very like very unlike me to not not move, not exercise, not work out. So I would say the number one thing for me to do is like force myself to do, even if it's just 30 to 45 minutes of anything. It doesn't matter. And for right now, like I'm okay with that too. Like I have a very specific off season that I'm trying to hit, but right now I'm not even looking at my plan right now because I need my baby to be sleeping through the night before I start having structure again. And so anyway, long way of saying the number one thing for me to do is find 30 minutes. Some days I'm lucky and it's 45 or an hour. Um, Thursday mornings I host a 90-minute virtual like bike ride on Zwift. And for the most part, I hit the 90 minutes. Last week, baby needed a bottle. My
You
wife
were
was
saying that, yeah.
yeah, my wife was already out the door. So I rode for like 20 minutes, bottle, and then maybe like another 20 or 25 minutes at the end. And it is what it is. So that's my life right now, dude, is family first. And that's how it always is. That's how it always
Yeah.
is. But
Yeah.
um, family first during the time that is usually my time when everybody's asleep. Because now not everybody's asleep. The wife's up, the baby's up, and now I have to, move my own exercise around. So it's hard. It's definitely hard. It's like a big mental game also because I'm used to like having something very specific I'm waking up and doing and hit these intervals, run this distance, run this pace, run this, whatever. And it's not even close right now. So, um, but it's okay. And I think that's the other thing. Another important thing when life is busy is just like accepting that's where you're at and that's the season that you're in. Um, and that's my season right now. So it is what it is. Like I'm not gonna complain that I can't get a 10-mile run in the morning before I leave for work because my body just can't do it. Like not
Off
that I
like
can't.
2 hours of sleep.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I can't run the 10
Yeah.
miles, but I don't have the energy during the time that I have free to exercise because I'm getting 60 to 90 minutes less sleep every night for 5 months. It's not just like a couple nights in a row.
No, I
So
mean,
I mean, you'll learn really quick too. Like your
I was just
baby's
about to
coming.
say
Yeah,
4 months, bro.
yeah. I mean, you'll learn real soon too. I mean, it's just how it is, man. And honestly, not every kid is like that either. So my second my second kid was perfect, like slept through the night pretty quickly. So it wasn't like this for my second daughter, but yeah, this one she's a great baby, but the sleep thing is it's been hitting me the last month, I would say more than anything, just because I haven't been in the 5 month territory of no full nights before. So my first two were better than this. There, dude, it's funny because there are days where like my eyes are like bloodshot during the day, and like they might be now because I'm tired, whatever. But during the day, like I'm giving a lecture or something or talking to students, and
Your
they'll just
students
be
are
like,
like, they're
"Yo, are
like,
you
yo,
okay?"
this like, yeah, this disciplined freaking PhD professor is like, he's looking worse than me right now, and I was out partying last night.
Yeah, right, right. They're like,
Yeah.
"Are you okay?" I'm like, "What do you mean, am I okay?" They're like, just look tired.
Yeah.
You
Well, yeah,
know?
you're like, yeah, yeah, and you look that kid in the face and be like, wait until you have wait until you have
Yeah,
3 babies, bro.
yeah. I'm like, okay, dude, you stayed up until 4 and you're sitting here in my 8 a.m. class, full energy. Good for you, 20 something
Yeah.
year old. So
Yeah, you're like, I was 20 at one point too, man, and I was doing the
yeah,
exact
yeah.
same
But
thing.
anyway, I mean, long way of answering your question, but the number one thing for me is to just find the time to get something in, and even if it's like outside of my comfort zone, like getting some form of exercise in makes me feel much better throughout the day. Like
Mental.
today I gave a bottle to the baby like 5, I can't remember, 5 something, which I said, remember she like slept through the night again, whatever. So gave her a bottle 5:30, I think. Hopped on the treadmill for a little bit. No structure, no plan. Got a 45-minute run in. It was, it felt great because the baby was fed. I don't always, but I had the time. So I was like, all right, I'll get 45 minutes in. And also, first cold plunge of the season today.
Nice.
So that was really exciting because I'm cheap and I didn't buy anything nicer than a pig trough. So and I'm not gonna fill it with ice. I'm just gonna wait for the temperature to drop and then start using it again. So today it was in the mid 50s. So I mean it's not freezing or anything, but it's cold. So
Hey, bro, I'm in California, man. People think 60 degrees is cold, you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. So
yeah, I
anyways,
get that.
that's mine. What about you? Because I mean you got a busy life. You don't have kids or anything, but like you
Yeah,
said,
I mean,
your
well,
your work's super busy. What's number one thing for you to prioritize, or what makes your day kind of start on a better note?
I mean, you kind of already addressed it too, dude. I mean, like, even for me, it's like, obviously I'm very structured right now, but that's because, the plan that I have an event coming up. That's a way different circumstance than what we're talking
Yeah,
about
right.
mostly, right? But one thing that I want to kind of touch on, at least with you, and the reason why I really wanted to ask you this is because, like, people, throw around the word motivation and stuff all the time. And I know people harp on this stuff all the time. It's like, find your why and like, blah, 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 and like, use all this motivational interviewing. And like, I work with people, right, all the time. It's my job. I'm a personal trainer.
Hmm.
Like, what comes easy to me and you, right? Exercise. You're disciplined, dude. You're going to do the stuff that you're supposed to do, even if you don't want to do it.
Yeah,
Good luck trying to explain that to a person that's never exercised before,
yeah, and
Like, and these people are paying me money to train them, and then they're still having issues even doing something very small, minute that I give them. So like when it comes to exercise, at least with me, is that if I'm busy one day, dude, just like you said, some of my clients are even kind of funny. They want me to work out with them sometimes. So like I'll kind of train with them. I don't really like it that much, but like if it's lifting with one of my clients for 20, 30 minutes out of like their whole hour session, I can do that. Thankfully for me, I do have like weird gaps in the middle of the day because like I work when other people don't.
yeah,
I do a split
right.
shift like super early in the morning and then, later in the evening. But basically for me, what I do, at least when it comes to working out, when I am obviously very busy, I choose things that I would say I like to do when it comes to exercise that I know even if I'm like maybe not motivated that day or like, I'm tired, which, happens to me a lot because I have to wake up super early. I just choose things that I like to do, pull-ups, maybe
Yeah,
some calisthenics, kettlebell stuff, something super short and easy that I know I can get my heart rate up a little bit, make me feel like I did something and just call it a day. It doesn't
yeah,
always need to be super planned and structured. You don't need to try and hit this one specific 3 or 5 RM that day if you're not feeling up to it. And that's why I tell my clients too, man. It's like if you know for a fact that, let's say for you, it's like you got 4 hours of sleep, right? You're not going to go out and try and freaking hit a PR on something just based off of,
no,
your training conditions, right? It's like,
yeah,
dude, if you haven't, I got people that come into the gym, man, at 5 p.m. and I ask them, like, how'd you sleep? How was your day? What'd you eat? Right. And I got people coming in there, bro. And I got people that have told me, oh, I've drank 1 cup of water. And I'm like, dude, it is 5 p.m. Like,
yeah,
and they're talking about like, oh, I'm like super tired today and whatever. I'm like, dude, like, I'd be falling over right now if I had 8 ounces of water.
right.
So not to rant too much here, but basically just finding something short, based off of how I'm feeling, because like right now, well, I'll just say after this race, right now it's just like I would say for me, doing something short that's relatively kind of intense for myself is probably my best way to adjust to having like a busy day. Because there are days, dude, where like I don't want to do anything, right? But I know for me, my mental health is way better. I perform better at work. You know, I want to be there a little bit more. At least for me, it's like obviously when you're a trainer, you talk a lot. I notice like my conversations are a little bit better after I get them working out. You're in a better mood. Um, so I could go on and on about the benefits of exercise, but structure something for yourself that you like to do on a day that you feel like crap, and still just do something, even if it's a walk, man. Like, you know, everybody should, in my opinion, resistance train. Obviously, whether you're a triathlon athlete or if you're any type of modality of fitness, everybody should lift weights. But if it's a day that you don't feel like lifting weights, go outside, go for a hike, go for a
Mhm.
walk. You know, even for you, dude, it's like go for a walk with your wife and your 3 kids if you can
Sure,
make sure that nothing crazy happens, you know?
sure. Yeah.
um, but what was the last thing I want to say with this too? The finding your why is obviously important and why you're choosing to do something, but like the whole like motivation goes and comes and all that stuff. You just gotta just honestly like try to do something day in and day out and just stay consistent. Consistency will always trump intensity over the course of time. And that's what I try to prioritize with my clients. And that's what I prioritize with myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, just to
Yeah. I mean,
summarize everything.
yeah, dude, for sure. I think consistency is so freaking important. I mean, even if you're hitting super easy zone 2 workouts, but you're hitting them every day, 7 days a week, 7 weeks in a row, 7 months in, I mean, it just those stack and stack and stack on each other. And I think you're right. Consistency is huge.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, people like us who are fairly consistent. Um, it becomes almost like a problem when you fall out of consistency. So like me, for example, right now in this moment, not very consistent
Yeah.
because of life, which is again, you come to terms with it, get over the mental block. It is what it is. Can't train like you're 19 anymore and in college. You have a wife, 3 kids, waking up in the middle of the night, big boy job, get over it real quick. You know what I mean? So sure, your consistency's out the door, but it's a short period of time. And I think, you even spoke to this point, but having your why, right? Sometimes that sounds super, super cheesy. Like, oh, what's your why? This is your why. Think about this when you're racing, or think about this when you're training, or when it's hard in the mornings. Sometimes that's not enough, dude. Your
No,
why, dude,
it's not.
having a why, I frankly think is just not enough. You need to have more than that. You need to have, I wrote it down. You said this earlier, that discipline is like number one.
Yeah.
Motivation, like you said, comes and goes. Some days you have it, some days you don't, some days you're rested, some days you're not. Discipline gets you moving every day, even if it's not structured, even if it's a little inconsistent. Discipline is going to get you moving, not your why. Your why is not going to get you moving. Your why might motivate you. Your motivation comes and goes. You just said that. Discipline is going to get you moving every day or as often as possible. And I think discipline is just underrated, underrated. I don't even think people really know what true discipline is. 9 people out of 10 don't really know what it is. Or at least don't value it the way that it should be valued relative
Yeah.
to your why and your motivation and things like that.
Hmm. No, I agree. And the crazy thing is though, too, man, is like, I mean, I live in Silicon Valley, right? So like most people that can afford personal training in the Silicon Valley have been successful in some modality of their life, right?
Yeah,
Which
right.
means at some point you had to have worked super freaking hard, right? So one of the things that I just try to always bring up to people, because like one of the cliche terms, because I obviously work with a large demographic of people, but I would say most people are between, like the later like childhood age, like maybe like mid 40s, early 50s, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people bring up like oh, do you want to be able to run around with your kids, walk with your kids and whatever else? And like that sounds good. And obviously like that's something that you want to bring up to those people, but like that's not something that's happening immediately, right? So it's like, where is the like A to B and B to C that you're going from like 15 years down the road, like
Yeah,
that's so far
sometimes
off.
more,
Yeah,
sometimes way
sometimes
more.
more. Yeah, so it's just like everybody wants to be around for their grandkids, right? Everybody wants to look better and feel better and all these other things, but it's like being able to set up something structured for that person that they know that they can do like day in and day out is like the hardest thing for most people that I've had. But the one thing I can say, at least with most of these people, and honestly anybody that over at Victory or Hill Pursuit or whatever, is just like everybody's done something relatively hard for them, whether it was like a hard class in school or, like a work internship or something.
Yeah,
Like somebody's done something hard and you have to push yourself mentally to do that. So it's just like you can apply that same thing to fitness in some way. I'm not saying to lift weights or go do a triathlon or whatever else, but it's just like once you make the commitment to yourself to do something and you stay persistent and like you just keep pushing forward and like you say, just staying as consistent and dedicated and whatever other cliche term you want to throw out, you're going to feel way better about yourself
yeah,
and you're going to feel way better at the end of the day. Like for me, dude, it's like, okay, I'll just bring something up. Yesterday, I had to swim yesterday. Bro, I stood on the edge of that pool for like 3.5 minutes about like, I didn't want to do this. I don't want to work out all the time either, man. And I freaking hate
yeah.
swimming. And, I knew that like if I skipped it, it would be all I would think about all the rest of the day. And then I would end up doing it again later in the week, and I would regret why I waited to do it. So it's just like, do it now. You're not going to regret it later. And the reason why I would say most people fall off because most people fail like their fitness journeys, right? Most people fail weight loss journeys because they set something unrealistic for themselves at the beginning. It's a little bit too hard to maintain and then they fall off. So just
Off
set
cliff.
something realistic. Yeah, dude. It's like you don't have to be all in or all out. It's like it's okay to be like 70% in,
Yeah, for
but just
sure,
stay
dude.
consistent,
For
Like
sure.
that's the hardest part, man. Like you.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're not all in right now, but you can't. And
Right,
like
right.
everybody has different seasons, dude. It's like if you were all in still, like you'd probably be in some trouble,
Yeah, I'd be in a lot of trouble because that would mean I'm sleeping from maybe 9:30 to 12:30 and then getting
Yeah.
up and training, then feeding my kid and then like just
Yeah.
staying awake for the day. Like yeah, no, no, no. I'd
No.
be running on maybe 3.5, 4 hours total every night for no, no. There's no way. Now listen, no, I guess I've heard that not everybody needs like you don't need 8 hours. Not some people can function on very little sleep, whatever. It's got to be so few people. It's crazy. But um, I want you said something earlier. I had something funny that happened to me today. I want to catch it quick. Hold on. Oh, you said something like don't attempt any crazy PRs on like 4 hours of sleep in the
I'm
gym.
saying, okay, hold on. Let me backtrack a little
No,
bit.
no, I have a funny
I'm saying
story.
you should not like, you shouldn't. I'm not saying you can't. I'm saying you should not.
No, I completely agree. I just
Yeah.
it triggered a story that literally happened to me
Okay.
today because
Let's hear it.
I randomly found another 40 minutes of free time today, and my this is super random, and this bothers me. I'll be honest, this bothers me. I only resistance train like 2 maybe 3 days per week right now because finding the time in the middle of the day, I don't have it in the mornings. The mornings that I typically do have it, I'm taking my daughter to preschool now. Like my schedule this semester is just it's a little different. It's new and it's just throwing me for a little bit of a loop. But so now I have to like squeeze in resistance training when I can randomly throughout the week. Consistently, it's maybe 2 or 3 times a week, which just it bugs me. But again, I'm dealing with it. Whatever. So I pop in and I haven't like heavy anything in forever. But I still squat, I still deadlift, and I still do some major compound movements and then some accessory stuff, whatever, pretty regularly. So I go over to the the squat rack and I start warming up, and I did like 3 increasing sets to like not even at the working set I was planning to be at yet. I was at like 185 or like 205 or something like that, just still going up. And I was just like so fatigued after those three like little warm-up sets. I just stopped. I stopped immediately. I was just, I'm not doing this today. Oh man, it was so funny though, because what you said earlier is like, your sleep affects it. Your max effort is not going to be there if you only have 4 hours of sleep, and not just 4 hours of sleep, but 4 or 5 hours of sleep for months at a time. Like
Yeah,
I just don't have it right now, and it was
yeah,
just so funny today. I even
yeah.
like laughed at myself as it was happening because I like I just stopped counting the reps on my last set and I just racked the barbell and I was like, this is stupid. I should not be doing this right now. So I just basically played around and flopped around for 30 or 40 minutes in the weight room, which
Get
I
some biceps in, you know?
yeah. Well, I did more than just like flopping around. But anyways, I
Okay.
didn't I didn't hit anything heavy like I usually try to do like once a week or something. And it was just funny because I just had to laugh because I'm like, yeah, I just don't have the energy that I'm used to having right now. And you literally said it earlier, and I just took a quick note. I had to share that. I thought that was funny.
Oh, see, dude. I mean, and thankfully, most of my what is it? My weightlifting ego has left me as I've
Yeah,
slowly started to age here. It's still there a little bit though, and I
yeah,
won't lie to you. There are certain days where my training conditions are not ideal, and then there's like this little thing that goes on in my brain where I'm like, felt terrible. Let's go up anyways because I'm starting to get angry at myself
yeah,
because I'm not performing the way that I should.
yeah.
And then, you do something, then your knee feels a little weird for a couple days, and then you learn, right?
Oh gosh, don't tell me that,
I
Ken.
Yeah, I'm not doing that right now, bro. I haven't, dude. I won't lie to you. I haven't really done a like, I'll use a technical term, an actual like regular back squat or bilateral squat in like 5 months. I haven't done anything like that. So, I'm trying to save my knees, man. These things are
Good.
old, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm being smart right now.
yeah.
I'm swimming and biking and running amongst a lot of other things, but like also those. So don't worry. I just gotta say that
Uh,
because you're coaching me and stuff. I won't tell you everything else I've been doing.
you don't have to. I can probably imagine. Uh,
Yeah, I get
anyways,
bored, dude. Yeah,
yeah, I understand. You gotta have fun sometimes. Um,
yeah, yeah.
dude, the other thing, we don't have to go on and on, but and I'm no expert here, but with nutrition is, everybody likes to say, "Oh, meal prep, meal prep, meal prep." Not everybody can do that. Like
No,
I I have very little time to meal prep. So, I wake up and I have the same snacks that I take throughout the day that I'm essentially just like a constant grazer of snacks, but they're all good snacks that I always have and I rely on throughout the day. I'll eat a breakfast and then I'll basically just like snack through the day. Sometimes I'll go get a lunch on campus or something, but I'm prepared to have enough fuel and food throughout the day, every day, which is a big help for me. Um, do I meal prep? No, I definitely do not meal prep. But I like as something that would be valued when life is busy. Sure, yeah, meal prepping would be great. But just speaking to that point real quick, sometimes you can't do that. So for me, it's easy for me to grab the things that I rely on throughout the day, and a little different for me right now because I'm participating in a research study that I'm eating some things that I don't normally eat. I'm on a high carb diet right now, so
mm.
I'm not, like
that sounds fun.
it's 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 fun, but it's like higher than I'm even comfortable with. So
Mm.
it's just like it's throwing me a little bit, but on a normal occasion outside of the study that I'm participating in, I have everything easily accessible that I grab on my way out the door, and it's not stressful for me to be like, oh, I need to have all this chicken, I need to have all this, right? The chicken and broccoli, the chicken and everyone needs to have that stuff. I don't have time to do it all the time. So, outside of like finding the time to do that, I have stuff that I can rely on, grab pretty quickly and kind of just know that I'm good to go to get through the day, which is great. So I also like, I rely on the same vitamins every morning and all that stuff. And, I again, just back to the whole training thing. the discipline, the consistency. Do the same thing every day if you can. Wake up, have your vitamins, if you have a little shake or I use BPNs, either strong greens or strong reds in the morning. So I use stuff like that pretty frequently, regularly. But
Plug it in.
yeah, plug it in. Yeah, new
Plug it
sponsor,
in.
Bear Performance Nutrition. No, I'm just kidding. Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely not. But it'd
Well,
be
we'll
cool.
take it. We'll
Yeah,
take it.
yeah, we'll take it, but absolutely not. Oh man. But yeah, what about you with nutrition? And I would guess it's probably a little easier for you to plan that out than me right now.
Well, probably you. I mean, dude, obviously, I mean, I can't compare my schedule to having, 3 children, that's kind of trumps everything. I mean, but for me though, it's a little bit odd because, so typically for me, just like a normal day, it's like 5 a.m. start, and typically, I actually go straight. I normally train anywhere between like 6 and 8 people in a row.
Okay.
So like in the morning, so my mornings are like pretty hectic. So long story short, what I do, and I'm not telling other people to do this, but based off of my goal right now, I'm consuming a lot of calories from liquid forms. So I do a lot of shakes and protein powders. I'll blend up cereal. I'll blend up bananas.
Mm,
One other thing that I've been doing as well is that I actually drink like an entire like little tub of bone broth. Easy protein, low in fat, high in sodium, which is obviously something that you need for triathlon training. Um, I was going to say with nutrition in general too, and I won't speak too much about what I do, but it's there is always a way to get in what you need. It's just not going to look the same as somebody else. And like for some weird reason, when it comes to not weird reason because it's super mainstream now, but it's like everybody thinks meal prep this, meal prep that, put this in
yeah.
this container, that, whatever. Dude, my meal prep, in case you're wondering, each week is me consisting, and even if you don't eat meat, there's obviously other things that you can do. I cook like 5 to 7 pounds of meat on Sundays. I have instant rice because it's super easy for me to cook.
Oh yeah.
I
Yeah.
get I get very convenient things that I know that I can stay consistent with, right? That I know that I can eat when I'm training clients because bro, I'm not gonna sit there and eat food in front of somebody, when they're paying me money by the hour and I'm not gonna be chomping on,
Yeah.
oatmeal or whatever else.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's just like you said, I get the same snacks, I get the same like liquid calories in. I try to get in like 2 to 3 whole meals if I can throughout the day. And the timing of all that stuff, like nutrient timing and all those things that people talk about with nutrition, I do my best, right? So I can obviously
Yeah.
feel myself before I work out, but it's not always going to be perfect. But when it comes down to food, it is the most important thing is your macronutrients, obviously micronutrients and all those things as well, and your vegetables and fruit and all those things and your powders and blah, blah, blah. Those are all important. But for me right now, I'm just trying to make sure that I'm consuming enough food to facilitate enough energy so I can exercise. So it's like if you're like a working mom or dad, meal prepping might not be possible for you. But one thing that is possible is changing out the snacks that you have in your home, having more readily available foods that you can just eat, like yogurt cups, fruit cups, pieces of fruit are super easy. Bone
Mm,
broth, like I just mentioned. Like these are all cheap things, man, that you can buy at a grocery store that's not going to break your bank, that are way better than the quick alternatives that you'll get anywhere else.
I think
So
that's
that's why I
really,
tell
really
all my
good.
clients to, dude, because like I know people are busy and I get it, but it's like everybody's got time to slam a freaking smoothie, when you wake
Yeah.
up. It takes 30 seconds.
Yep.
Um, and if you really just look at your schedule, what you can do realistically, and just stay consistent with that, that's all you can do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody has time to eat 6 prepared meals most of the time. And honestly, dude, I train and work with bodybuilders, like the guys that are the Tupperware this and everything. Bro,
Yeah.
those guys don't eat like that in the off season. Like when I train, the gym that I work at and that I at least space out of for my business, I train with guys that are professional bodybuilders, like actual IFBB pros, and those guys do not eat like that unless they're in prep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, and which, by the way, dude, their preps are like their entire lives. Like their families go out the window, their girlfriends, their boyfriends, whatever, everything goes out the window. And their one singular goal is to hit this meal at this time, no matter what.
Hmm.
They'll eat in front of clients, they'll do whatever they need to do. So, and that's not something realistic for anybody else. So if they can't do it and they can live that crazy, like very structured Spartan
Yeah.
lifestyle,
Yeah.
a normal person can't do that, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, there were a lot of great nuggets in there that you just shared. So, I guess if you're listening and got a little distracted over the last 5 minutes, rewind because Ken just laid it down and really shared some good stuff in terms of snacks to keep around, strategies to have food ready and available. So thanks for that, Ken. I mean that was really really good. I mean I even gathered a little bit there, so appreciate that. That was great.
Yeah.
What else do you have, man?
I mean, food, exercise, everything else. The easiest way I would say with any of these things is structure. To maintain any of this is structure, a routine. And then for me, the first thing that I wake up or think about is like, how am I going to work out today? When am I going to fit it in? Right. If I can. If you make it a priority when you can, depending on the season of your life, then you will be successful in some way. And it's better to do something than nothing.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah, I've always said something's better than nothing, but more is always better in most cases with exercise and
We're,
like just
yeah.
the volume
Yeah.
of training. Something's always better than nothing, but more is always better. More, is a loose term, I guess. Volume or intensity or just intelligent design, I guess, would be better than just more, the bland term more. But yeah, dude, absolutely. Something's better than nothing for sure. For sure. All right, well, let's wrap it up. I don't really have much else. That was really great.
Cool.
I have a couple plugs actually. One thing I want to mention, I should have mentioned this at the top, so hopefully you stuck around. Hill Pursuit is going to open a Zoot store. So triathlon gear, endurance gear, tri kits, race bibs, jerseys, swim jammers, stuff like that. Hill Pursuit's going to have that open in the near future. That's kind of a big announcement. I haven't really told anybody that. I know I mentioned it to you briefly, but it's really, really close to happening. The off season is literally right around the corner for so many people, so many Hill Pursuit athletes, Victory multi-sport athletes, and I mean, it's like I'm hoping that's a good time if people are interested. Grab some gear for next year. Speaking of off-season programming, can you give a plug too? I don't know if you have anything coming up here, but um, Hill Pursuit's going to have like a special. I'm not going to say exactly what it is, but strength and conditioning offering that's coming out to kind of align with the end of the season or athletes entering the off season and knowing that they need help with strength and conditioning, lifting weights, resistance training. Because, like you said earlier, everybody in any sport and any walk of life should be lifting weights. And if you have no clue what to do, the off season is when you should really be doing it more than any other season, right? But you should be doing it year round. But if you need help in the off season, Hill Pursuit's going to have a nice little offering coming out here shortly. In that regard, there will also be a special for Victory athletes as part of that strength stuff that's coming out. Do you have anything like that coming up?
I mean, we haven't talked about this a lot, but I'm definitely down to run something with you in
Yeah,
regards to combining the strength and nutrition together too.
yeah,
And
let's do
I
that.
mean, like you said too, I mean, even for a new person when they first start lifting weights, it's better to figure out all those things in the off season, right? And I would say the same thing with the food, right? Building small habits over the course of an off season, right, leading into the actual season, you're going to have a way better structure. You're going to figure out what foods you can tolerate better, right? You don't want to be figuring that stuff out like 2-3 months out. Try and
Yeah,
do it sooner rather than later. And yeah, that's pretty much all I have with the food stuff. So
cool, cool. All right, I got a little cut off there. Sorry about that, but I did have a couple other things I just wanted to wrap up with. There are a ton of Victory multi-sport athletes racing Ironman 70.3 Muncie this weekend. So I have a couple myself, but just big good luck and we'll be tracking all of the Victory multi-sport athletes at 70.3 Muncie this weekend. I guess special good luck to some of the ones that I'm specifically coaching and helping and excited to watch, I guess. So Nick, Murph, Candace, Andrew, Sky. I also have two athletes running separate marathons as part of a Boston qualifying attempt. So good luck to Timmy and Carrie there. And then I guess lastly, so geez, big weekend. Lastly, Tandy, who just came off of 2 back-to-back weekend big performances. He's going at it again, rim to rim at the Grand Canyon and back. So good luck to everybody. And then I guess last thing I got to mention, not victory athletes, but 3 really good friends of mine, Ray, Dick, and Phil, all also racing 70.3 Muncie. So good luck to those guys. Those guys kind of, when I was getting into the sport, kind of took me by the hand and showed me the way. So really excited to watch those guys too. Still train with them from time to time. So good luck to those 3. That's all I really have. This was episode 80 of the Hill Pursuit podcast. If you're looking to find access to all podcasts and any and everything else, you can check out the website, hillpursuit.com. Podcast streams everywhere, Spotify, Podbean, Google, all that stuff, Apple. But anyways, you can get access to all of our other podcast episodes on our website. So just check that out first. You can see all the other coaching stuff, coaching links, blog information, all that stuff on the website, nutrition, coaching as well. We also have a YouTube channel. So if you're listening on the podcast, check out the YouTube channel, follow along there. We have some cool stuff there. You can see this show, but you can also follow along with some race day stuff that we post from time to time. It's pretty cool YouTube clips, I guess. So check that out as well. Ken, I'll share Ken's information in the show notes, but Ken's at Progressive Strength Project, one of our nutrition coaches. So definitely contact Ken if you have any questions. He did leave a lot of great nuggets in today's episode. So reach out to him if you have any specific questions. You can also reach out to me directly at hillpursuit@gmail.com. Check us out on all social media. We recently added a Twitter platform or an X platform, whatever it's called, Twitter, X, whatever it is, but also Facebook, Instagram. Check us out there. Just all of us just at Hill Pursuit. Find us, like us, subscribe to stuff, follow along. We appreciate it, of course. If you've stayed with us for this long, we appreciate it. Thanks for listening. This was episode 80 of the Hill Pursuit podcast.